Hey there, all you cool cats and kittens. Welcome back to the Galactic Gumdrop channel. My name is Lizzie, and today I wanted to talk about sports anime. Yes, sports anime. Just because I can't watch sports anime. And if you have seen my TikToks, you may know why. It's not because I don't enjoy them, but actually because I enjoy them so much that I really just want to get into whatever activity they're doing. Just, you know what I mean? Basketball, okay, I'm going to become a basketball player. Volleyball, I'm going to become a volleyball star. Swimming, I'm going to join the swimming team. Ice skating, I'm going to become an Olympic ice skater. Figure skater, you know, just. And now they have this new one out that's like a skateboarding anime. I'm like, great, okay, better go buy a skateboard because that's gonna happen. Jeez. Yeah, so sports anime. I have seen a few, but there are still some that I haven't seen. And I'm basically pushing them off because of that reason. Because I'm like, oh God, as soon as I start watching this, I'm going to get like so invested in this sport. That said, I think there is still like some sports anime that are better than others, just with any type of anime, you know. It's just so I'm just gonna go into that, whatever. The first sports anime that I remember watching was Kuroko's Basketball, or Kuroko no Basket, and that one I actually haven't finished, which might be a sin to some of you fans out there. I'm so sorry, but I will finish it. I am planning to finish it. What was happening was it was a newer anime at the time I was watching it, and so it wasn't fully aired yet, and I have just a little bit of a complex where I just love to binge watch anime. So if the full anime is not out, the full season or whatnot, it's really easy for me to like fall off the wagon of watching it if I can't just like back-to-back episodes when I have free time. So, that anime was new, and the first season was fully aired, I think, but maybe they were like starting the second season, or the second season was about to come out. So I like blazed through the first season, and I was like, yes. Like, I was like, sports. Who knew basketball could be so fucking cool? Like, look at these guys, look at this shot. Oh my gosh. And so I was all in. I was like, they're training, the running on the beach. I was like, I'm gonna run on the beach. Like, I was like, I'm gonna do it. The basketball, I was like, I'm gonna do that. I could do that. I can't shoot basketball to save my life, but you know what? I'm gonna be a basketball pro. So this was all that. That was like, I was invested. And then there was time between the second season airing, and I started like other anime, and I just never went back to it. And it wasn't because I didn't like it. I just have like one track mind anime. Like, I just need the whole show to be out at one time for me to just be like, let me finish this all at one time. And like, it just really takes me a while to get back to a show if I pause in between seasons. I have to really care about the show. So that was not the case for Kuroko's Basketball, but I still really enjoyed it. So I am going to go back to finish it. But that was my first experience with a sports anime. Now, I remember, and it's been a while since I've seen it, but I remember that though I liked it, I thought it was a little bit too predictable, you know, for like me to be really bad. You could just kind of tell, like, oh, they're gonna lose this one, or they're gonna win, or whatever. Like, you just kind of knew what was gonna happen already, and I like a little bit more mystery, you know. Everybody likes a little mystery. So the next sports anime I watched after that would have to be Baby Steps. Yeah, Baby Steps, which is my favorite sports anime. So far it's my favorite sports anime. So I'm gonna come back to that one. But then the most recent sports anime that I ended up watching was Yuri on Ice. I finally like took that dive last year, so it's been a while since I've seen sports anime. Don't shoot me. But I watched Yuri on Ice. I like to wait for like the hype to die down for a show before I like go into it, because I don't like having that high expectation unless like I already know that I'm really gonna like the show. But back when Yuri on Ice like first aired, I was just like, what is it? What, gay ice skating? Okay, whatever. Like, I was just not interested. I was like, okay, no. But then I finally was like, okay, you know what? Like, the hype's died down now. It's been a while since it aired, and, you know, people claimed that it was a really great show. I'm going to give it a shot. And I really liked Yuri on Ice. Definitely, you know, wasn't so much for the gayness, which is fine. I love gays. It's fine. But it was more like the ice skating itself. Like, I thought that they just did such a wonderful job animating it, and just like the choreograph. Oh, it was beautiful. Beautiful. And I love Yurio. Oh my God. And then it was just so inspirational that, of course, I went out and bought ice skates, and I started taking ice skating lessons last year. So exactly, right? Like, I was just motivated so much that I was like, fuck it, no, I'm gonna be an ice skater now, thanks. Which actually was like great for me. Because of Corona, I haven't been on the ice for a while, since like March, but I really want to start back up. I'm gonna have to start at private lessons, but I was doing like group lessons for adults because I'm an adult. I'm not a kid. Obviously, I know I'm not gonna be an Olympic figure skater. Okay, you know, one can dream, but I actually enjoy ice skating. So that was one thing I was like glad that, you know, sports anime can help push you into something maybe you didn't think you were gonna like, you know, just like, I mean, I always enjoyed watching figure skating from the Olympics. It was one of my favorite like programs to watch, but never did I think I was actually gonna, like, as an adult, like, go start taking ice skating lessons and like want to get better. So I really want to get back into that. But I mean, it's also like really embarrassing when like people at the rink are like, oh, what made you decide to like start ice skating? And, you know what I mean? Like, you're, you know, an adult, like, just, and like, I just don't have the heart to tell them that it's like from a show, like a cartoon, like anime. I mean, I know a lot of figure skating people probably are aware of Yuri on Ice just because of how like big it blew up at the time. But I just, like, I'm like, that's too embarrassing. Like, I can't just be like, I watched this anime about ice skating and I just was like, I'm gonna be an ice skater. So I usually just tell people, oh, it's something like I always wanted to do, you know, as a kid. Like, I actually took ice skating lessons when I was like wee young, and I like did like one lesson, I think, and I just like cried a lot of the time, and I was like, Mom, I don't like it, I'm cold, and I fall on the ice. So like, I gave up that. I could have been an Olympic figure skater, but 5-year-old me gave up that dream. So we're not an Olympic figure skater because 5-year-old me was too cold and didn't like falling on the hard ice. But now, back as an adult, I really enjoy ice skating. I just think it's like, I don't know, like, I'm kind of athletic, and I think I take pride in that, and I think that helps me learn figure skate. Like, I just pick things up pretty quickly, and it just gives me like that positive reinforcement. You know, you're just like learning something, but you don't have to learn it, you know, when you're young and like your parents put you in a program or something sport, which it was just like great to have the opportunity, but sometimes you're just like forced to learn a bunch of shit, and then you're just like, I don't want to do this, you're making me do this. Versus like as an adult, you're like choosing to do that, and you're like, I'm paying to do this. So it's definitely a different experience that I am enjoying so much, and I have Yuri on Ice to thank for that. I would love for them to finally come out with that movie that they keep teasing us about, just to see Victor's backstory, and some other stuff too. And I would love, oh my God, I would love a second season. Like, please. Yeah, I don't know. That's just all I want to say about Yuri on Ice. But I wanted to move on to Baby Steps, because that is my favorite sports anime. And, and you probably are wondering, like, oh, have I seen Haikyuu, and have I seen Free? And I haven't seen those ones. And the reason being, especially with Haikyuu, I plan to watch them. I do. But it's the same thing with, like, Yuri on Ice. It's like, I know that I'm going to get into it, and especially volleyball. Like, I used to play back in high school, and even before, in grade school, I used to play volleyball. So I'm like, I know. And I'm short. Like, just like, I'm like, I know that as soon as I start watching this, I'm going to be like, I need to play volleyball, like, all the time. Like, I'm going to start training. I'm going to, like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm just, no. Like, so I'm like, I just can't invest into that yet. And same with Free. I was on a swim team for like a year. I just did a lot of stuff. But I am fully prepared to watch those at some point. I have not though yet. So now back to the sports anime that is currently my favorite sports anime, which is Baby Steps. And that is a tennis anime. If you haven't watched it, I highly recommend it. Even if you're not super into sports anime, it is a fantastic show. My brother recommended it to me, and I was like, oh, you know, he like described it to me. I was like, well, that sounds cool, but you know, like, whatever, like tennis, like, I don't know. Like, I was just like, I'm not super, I wouldn't consider myself somebody super into tennis. Like, you know what I mean? I never watched it. It wasn't like figure skating where I was like, oh, I watched the Olympics and that stuff. No, it was like, oh, it's tennis. Okay, whatever. But I finally decided to give it a watch after I was just like, you know, my brother had been pushing at me for a while. And it is just a really like well, like put together plot, and then just like the sequence of everything just going. So the main character's name is like Ichiro, and he like just joins tennis kind of as to do an extracurricular because he's just all into studying, and he's like a perfectionist. But he's like, you know what, I want to, or maybe he's like trying to like broaden his application. It's been a little bit since I've seen the show, but for the most part, this is pretty much what happened. So he joins tennis kind of on a whim to like do an extracurricular, and he's like super unathletic. So like the first day there, he just like faints from running for their training. And then he doesn't really get to play tennis, but he watches other people play. And he like kind of gets inspired to try it. So he comes back to do another session where he doesn't faint. He like trains a little bit on his own to like be like, okay, I don't want to like faint after the warm up. So he's able to like come back and actually play, and he like likes it. And he likes it so much that he just starts training, you know what I mean? He's like, well, I'm just gonna try to get better at this. And he just like starts training and jotting notes, and his whole thing is like he has these notebooks where he just like writes down everything. He's like a study, I don't know, he's like a genius. He just like loves to study and just like loves to map out everything, and he like maps out all this tennis shit like crazy. Like he's like, and the angles and the, you know, where the ball hits, whatever. But he like slowly starts to get better, and you see him just like develop as a person as he's like getting better at the tennis. And it's just like really cool, and he's just like it's like a wholesome anime. It's so wholesome, and he's like an adorable character. Love him, and love like a lot of the other characters in the show. And then the main draw in for me was like, not only are the tennis matches just like you're like on the edge of your seat like every match. It could be just like a practice match, and you're just like how is it gonna end? Oh my god. That's the thing, is like you never know when he's gonna lose a match or win a match. Like they don't make it very predictable, and that to me is like it just like that is the pinnacle. Like that is how a sports anime should be. Honestly, how at least any type of like action, like fighting anime should also have a little bit of that, because it's like you don't want to know the main character is going to win every single fight. Like you want to have like a little bit of dangly in front of them, like, oh, are they going to win this time? But some shows just decide they don't care about that, and they're just like, we're just going to be playing the obvious of who's going to win here and who's going to lose, or what's going to happen. But this show like leaves you on the edge of your seat, and you just feel like you're there watching the tennis match. Like you are like watching these, and they're just like fuck going at it, and they're just like, oh, and like the final match of the season, there's 2 seasons, so thank God there was 2 seasons, because I was just like, after the first season I was like, I need more, and I really wish that they would make more, but they stopped after that, and they're not gonna be making more. I think even the manga stopped. I think I was like looking into like, oh, I'll just read ahead, like, oh god, I'll just read it. And I think that the manga ended up stopping. I don't remember why. I don't know if it was just the author decided to discontinue it, or if I don't remember what it was, but the manga is no longer continuing. The anime was not able to continue either. But it didn't really like, it left it off in a way where you're like, oh, like that's okay, but that I want more. Like this wasn't the finale. But the last match that Ichiro plays in, like, it's It is so good. He just like whips out these moves, and you're so proud of him because he's like come so far. I don't know, like he just decides that he kind of wants to become a professional tennis player, but he's like starting late in the game because he's like starting in high school, and most of these kids have been playing since they were like wee small boy, but since they could hold a racket. I don't know. This is just like me fangirling over this anime baby steps, but honest to God, like go watch it. Go watch it, please. It is fantastic. So yeah, that's my rant on my favorite sports anime. I guess you can consider Food Wars a sports anime, but I don't really consider it a sports anime because food making is not a sport. It's just making food. I don't know, but they arc it like a sports anime. So I don't know. Food Wars is another topic that I would love to get on, but that should be its own video because I have a lot to say about that show in general. So I don't know. That's my take on sports anime at this time. I definitely plan to watch Free and Haiku. And what's the other one I want to watch? Oh, Prince of Tennis. I've heard that one is good. I haven't seen that one. I want to watch Ping Pong the animation. So there's a lot that I haven't seen. I'll probably watch this new skateboarding anime at some point. Who knows? There's a lot of sports anime out there. So, I'm going to watch it. I really would love for them to adapt this sports manga that I read as like a kid, a young adult. I don't know, a teenage. It's called Crimson Hero. It's a volleyball manga, and it's about like female volleyball, girls playing volleyball. That's one thing. They do have like some sports anime with the girls in it. I know that they just had the one where is it basketball that they play or badminton or something? I think it's basketball. I don't remember. They do have a female sports anime, and they do have the working out, girls working out. What is that sports? Not really. And they do have the butt one, but it's like, can't they just make a sports anime with girls that's just like, not that sports like Free is definitely fan servicey. So you can argue Yuri on I don't know. They're all like fan servicey in a way, but I want like a female sports anime that is like on par with some of these other ones. Like, please. It can happen. I know it can happen, okay? But anyway, Crimson Hero I think could be that. It's a little bit of a show. It's like it's a romance sports action anime. So, I mean, it's not just girls playing volleyball. There's the boys playing volleyball too. But you know what? It was good. So give that a read too if that's something that interests you. Yeah, that's my rant on sports anime as of this time. Definitely like this video and subscribe to my channel if you like my content and you want to support me. I do have a TikTok page. I've been more active on Twitter, so you can follow me on those. You can follow me on Instagram. I try to post sometimes. And let me know in the comments below what your favorite sports anime is, or if you've seen Baby Steps, if you like it, or if you don't like it, you can shout that out there. So thanks so much for watching, and have a great rest of your night.